Welcome back. Still talking about adjective, but here or today we shall talk about how you change an adjective or a noun to a verb. That is some words, and not all of them, but it is very important that you know this. Shall we get started? Okay. Our first word is black. Black is an adjective because it tells you the color of something. So if something is black in color, now here is an adjective. The action, that is, if you want to make something black, what are you to say? It's very simple. You just say blacken. So if I say blacken something, I mean you should make it black. I can even also say the thing blackens. That is, the thing becomes black. For this word black, you can use black. That is, if I say black something, I mean you should make it black. It's very simple. So blacken or black. Dark. So if you want to make it an action word, that is, if you want something, the darkness to increase, what do you say? Darken it. If we say that something darkens, we mean that the darkness in it increases. Now this is right. You want something to be right? What do you just say? Redden it. That is, make it right. If I also say that the thing reddens, I mean it becomes red. It's very simple. White. Everyone knows the color of white. If you want something to be made white, what do you just say? For example, you just say whiten. I want to whiten my teeth. That is, I want to make them white. Even if they are white and you want to make them whiter, you say whiten them, for example. And I can say that my teeth whiten. That is what the whiteness in them increases. It's very simple. So you whiten something, that is making it white. This is bright. When you say something is bright, it contains shining in it. And yes, it contains shining in it. So if I want to change this into a verb, I say brighten. So for example, I want you to brighten this thing. That is, I want you to increase the brightness of it. And you can also say that the thing brightens. That is, the brightness in it increases. And you also remember that that's not just the meaning of bright. I can say that my son is bright. I mean intelligent. So it has more than one meaning. We have taken only, let's just say, one. Now, coarse, that is rough. It is not soft. So the action, what you say is, like if you want to increase the roughness of let's say something, you just say coarsen. And you can say that the thing, for example, let's say your skin, my skin coarsens. That is, the roughness on my skin has increased. Or you can say I don't want to use this thing. Why? Because it coarsens my skin. Rough, that is not soft. So if you want something to be rough, you just say what? Roughen, that is roughing it. And even if it becomes rough, you can say it roughens. It roughens. Very simple. This is soft, that is not rough. So if you want the softness of something to increase, what do you say? Soften. The word is pronounced soften, not soften. So I want you to soften it. That is, I want you to increase the softness in it. I mean, if I say that the thing softens too, that is, the softness increases. So you make it or it becomes. If it becomes, you say soften. If you make it to, if you make it become, you say soften. It's very simple. Let's carry on. This topic is going to consume, I think, around 15, maybe 30 minutes, but it is very important, isn't it? Okay, let's continue. Hard. If something is hard, that is not something that you can easily shift, easily bend. It's not soft like that, flexible. So the verb, what we say is harden. So if you harden it, we mean what? You make it hard. It's very simple. And if it hardens, it becomes hard. That is, the hardness increases, or you increase it by yourself. Then light. So light can be a noun, but here we take it as an adjective. That is, containing light, or shiny, containing, let's say, yes, shining in it. That is talking about color. So in the verb, you say lighten. That is, if you want to increase the brightness in it, what do? You lighten it. And you remember, the word lighten, you can use, the word light can mean something that is not heavy. So it's not heavy. So if something is heavy, you want to decrease, not increase. You want to decrease the heaviness in it. What do? You lighten it. Like, even if someone is working for you and then you see like they're tired and you want to reduce the amount of the work that they do, you want to be like, make things simpler for them, you say, okay, sorry, I am going to lighten your work. I am going to lighten your work. So it can be of color. That is, you want to increase the brightness, you lighten. You want to decrease the work. That is, now if you take light as not heavy, if you want to decrease the amount of work you give someone, you lighten the work for them. Simple. Thick, not thin. And the action, we just say thicken. So if you thicken something, we mean you increase the thickness in it. And we can say that the thing thickens. That is, the thickness in it increases. So it becomes, or you make it become. Wide, that is broad. It is not narrow. So if you want something, if you want the wideness of something to increase, what do? You widen. So you want the wideness to increase. You say, please, could you widen it? Could you widen the piece of the cloth? I want you to widen it. That is wide. And if it's, you can say that it widens. That is, the wideness increases. So you make it, or it becomes broad, wide too. So if something is broad, it's wide. And if something in the action, we say broaden. So if something broadens, we mean the wideness in it increases. And this word broaden, you can use it to mean like your, let's say, your skill. So if you want to increase your skill, you broaden it. I want to broaden my skill. Like this, I want to increase my skill. Something like that. Worse. This is not even bad. It's worse. So in the action you say worsen. So here is worse and here is worsen. This one is very, but let's just explain it. So the worseness in it increases. You say what? It worsens, or you make it like that. Ripe. So this for fruit, if let's say an orange is ripe, you can take it. It's ready to eat. So it's now, even if you eat it, nothing is going to go wrong. So you to make it ripe, we say you should ripen it. That is, make it ripe. And if I say, for example, I can say the orange ripens, that is ripe. So you make it or it becomes, either is correct. Straight. You know this? So you to make something straight, I say straighten. Straighten it, as in straighten your line. That just make your line straight. And if I say your line straightens, I mean it becomes straight. Simple. Like I told you at the beginning, this could take around 30 minutes, but it is worthwhile given the time is not a loss. Let's get continued. Short. This is not tall. For you to make something, to make the shortness increase, what do you say? Shorten. You should shorten it. That is, I want you to make it shorter. That is, you shorten it. Or I say the thing shortens, that is, it becomes shorter. The shortness increases. Tight. Wow. The tying is very well. So you to do the action, what do you say? To increase the tightness of something, say tighten it, or it tightens, that is, the tightness in it increases. Taut, this, that is, the stretching in it is tight. So the action is tauten. Like for example, a rope. If a rope is taut, you mean that you know the stretching in it is what? Tight. So you to make it that, we say tauten it. Tauten it. Or it tautens, that is, it becomes taut. Loose. This is loose. It is not loose, but loose. If something is loose, it is not tight. So the action, we say what? Loosen it, or we can say loose. For example, when you plait your hair for women, what do you say? Loosen it or loose it. Here you can use loosen or loose. So loose is the opposite of what? Tight. And if like it loosens, we mean what? The tightness in it decreases, not increases. We've got slack, just a synonym of loose, that is not tight well. Like a rope, I can say this rope is slack, that is, the tying on it is not tight. So the action, we say what? Slacken. So if you slacken it, or it slackens, that is the tie-in is less. And for example, the slack, we can use it like, let's say you have children, or let's say a school, you say the discipline in this school is slack. That is like not that serious. You need to make it like serious. Tough. So if something is tough, it's not easily damaged. It is not easily broken. So if you want to increase the toughness of something, what do? You toughen. You toughen it. Or if it toughens, we mean the toughness increases. You can even use tough to mean to talk about someone who is strong. And you can use the word toughen to talk about increasing the strength, that is making someone stronger. So I want to toughen my son. And then deep, that is not shallow. The distance between, let's say, up and down, or top and bottom. So if you want the deepness to increase, or you want to increase the deepness, what do or say? Deepen. Deepen. It deepens, or you deepen it. And like the deepen, you can use remember, like the word broad, to broaden your skill. Here too, you can like deepen your skill, that is increase it, make it more flat. You know this, to make something, to increase the flatness, we say what? You should flatten it. And if it flattens, we mean the flatness too increases. Wow, many words, I think. Stiff. Let's take just one maybe. If something is stiff, let's, like for example, clothes that you wear. You iron them and you apply what we call starch. So when you apply starch on them, they become stiff. That is, they become not flexible. How they become stiff in a way that is not easy for you to like fold them or change their position. They become what? Like solid. They become like strong. You get it? I hope you get it. That is, you understand. So for you to make them so, what do you say? You stiffen them. Or we say what? My clothes have stiffened. That is, I have become that strong in a way that it's not easy for you to fold them. Especially sometimes if you iron your clothes, you apply starch on them. And the word stiffen, you can use it on behavior. Like for example, stop, don't beat your son anyhow or every day. If not, his bad behavior, this beating will only stiffen his bad behavior. That this will increase the strength, will make the behavior stronger. Then sharp, like knife. If it is sharp, you know what that means. You can easily cut someone's hand. To make it so, what do? You sharpen it. And I can say the knife sharpens, that is, it is sharp, or you sharpen it. So I can say it sharpens, or you sharpen it. Moist. So it means wet, but not very well. It's wet, that is not dry. It's wet, but not very well. You making it moist, what do? You moisten. Increasing the wetness. You moisten, not moisten. And if it moistens too, it means that. So you make it, or it becomes quick, you know this, done with fastness, speed. So in the action we say quicken, that is increasing the quickness in something, or becoming. So something quickens or you quicken it. Steep, let's take one meaning from it. That is, you go to the market, you want to buy something, and you hear that it is steep, it means it's expensive. So making something, increasing the amount, or how expensive it is, you say what? Steepen. You steepen it, that is, you increase the steepness, how expensive it is, or it becomes steepen. Sorry, or you, it steepens or you steepen it. Quiet, that is, the noise is not high, is less. Now the action we say what? We say quieten, that is making the noise to be less. Could you quieten the class for me while I'm attending to the parents, for example? That is, could you control the noise to be less? It's very simple. Or if it quietens, that is, it becomes what? Less. Or you quieten it. It quietens or you quieten it. Weak, that is not strong. You making something weak or it becoming weak, what do you say? Weaken. Weaken. And like if something is strong, you want to decrease the strength, what do? You weaken it. Fresh. If something is fresh, we mean it is in its natural form. You have not put what people call preservatives, or you do not keep it in the fridge. It is in its natural form. That's why we say eat fresh food. And the word fresh, you can use it to being attractive. Like if you look at something, you say this thing is fresh. Wow. Like is wow, is bright, attractive. This is pure. You can use it fresh. So now the action we say freshen. So this house is beautiful. You want to like make it more beautiful. What do? You freshen it. You freshen it, like the painting and so on. You want to increase how clean it is. You want to increase like how you want to make it newer. You want to make it more. You want to make it better to look at. You do what? You freshen it. So like let's say the paint is old. What do? You freshen it. You make it look better. You apply new one, something like that. And deaf. If someone is deaf, they can't hear. Even if they can hear, the hearing is not very well. So you to make someone deaf, what do we say? You deafen. You deafen something. You deafen, that is, you make someone deaf. And I can use this deafen to mean like if people are making noise that you can't hear something you are doing. You can't, something like that. You can say, you people please should keep quiet. Why? Because you're deafening me. Or leave this place. Why? Because you are deafening me. Glad, just quickly, happy. You to make someone happy, what do you say? Gladden. It gladdens my heart to see you. It makes my heart happy to see you. Sad. You to make someone sad is just what? Sadden. So it saddens me to hear this from you. It makes me sad to hear this from you. These ones are simpler than the previous ones. Neat. Everything is kept where it is to be kept. Like the pillow is in the bed, is in bed. The spoons are like in the kitchen. We say everything is what? Neat. That is in order. So the action, what do you say? Knitting. Fat, that is not thin. So you to increase the fatness of, let's say, an animal, or let's say, yes, an animal, what do? You fatten. I am trying to fatten my chickens because I want to slaughter them, for example. I want to fatten them. Mad, mad um, can mean someone is very angry, which is the one we're going to take here, and it can mean someone is not well psychologically, that is the uh, mentally ill. So you to make someone very angry, you say what? Madden, just like sadden, just like gladden. Cheap, it is not expensive. So you to if something is like expensive, you want to decrease how expensive it is. What do? You cheapen. And the word cheapen, or if someone, for example, a person is cheap, that is their status, I mean position, is low. And someone whose position is low has no respect. People don't respect them. So likewise, if you say that what, do not cheapen yourself, what you are trying to say is that what, do not make yourself not respected. Do not make your position low. Okay, very simple word. I will not cheapen myself because I am not cheap. That is, my position is not low. I am not disrespected. So I will never cheapen myself. Haste. So, but this one, haste, like you see the color, is a noun. So I mean the quickness, fastness in doing, the quickness in doing something. The action, we say what? Hasten. To do something with more quickness, what do? You hasten. It's very simple. Don't worry, we're going to reach I think the end soon, because it might take 40 minutes, I think. But the most important thing is the understanding, right? Sweet, from the word sweet, it contains what? Sugar. But that's not the only meaning of sweet. You talk about sweet like the voice, someone's voice is sweet, like something is sweet, you mean it is pleasant. But here we are talking about taste. It contains sugar. So you to increase the sweetness of something, we say what? You should sweeten. For example, sweeten. That is, you increase the sweetness in the thing. So the thing becomes sweet, or you increase the sweetness. Damp. So that damp here, it is wet. But normally damp, the wetness is something that you like. You don't like it. It's unpleasant. So you to make something damp, we say dampen, and you can use damp. I want you to damp the handkerchief for me. That is, I want you to make it wet, but not very well. And the word dampen, you can use it to talk about like feeling. So you dampen a feeling. What you are trying to say is what? You decrease how strong the feeling is. I'm trying to dampen my anger, something like that. Awake, if you're awake, that is, you are not asleep. So like someone is asleep, what do? You awaken them. And here too we can use awake. So awake him, that is, wake him up. Awaken him, wake him up. Or I awaken, that is, I wake up. I awake, I wake up. Sorry, listen one more time. I can say go and awaken him, or go and awake him. I can also say He awakens, that is, he is awake, he wakes up. Or I can say what? He awakes, that is, he wakes up. It's very simple. Sick. So if you are sick, you are not healthy. The action we say what? The action we say sicken. Sicken. That is, I say, for example, I sickened for 2 days. That is, I was not healthy for 2 days. Then, like. Here, like, we are talking, and that is as an adjective. That is something like something similar. That is like here. So, alike, alike, something to be alike. That is like. So the action we say what? Liken. You liken something to something. That is, you compare to mean that they are alike. So you see the like here, we do not use it as a verb. Less. Less is here, but take a look at the color. It is red in color. It is not a noun. Sorry, it's not an adjective. But it can be a determiner, it can be a pronoun. So if something is less, you mean the amount is not big, the amount is small. So the action you say what? Lessen. You lessen something, that is, you decrease the amount. That is, you lessen something, you decrease the amount. Or if it is strong, you lessen the strength, you decrease the strength. Very simple. Height. You see the color too? So height is a noun, but there's a reason why you have it in that color. That is what I'm going to explain. Height, talking about how tall something is, up, down, something like that. When we say heighten, it is a verb now. So when we say heighten, it does not mean making something taller. Here, the meaning heighten, where you are trying to say what is like a condition, a situation, is what a situation increases, like the tension, the fear heightens. That is, the fear increases. You get the difference, I hope. So height is a noun, but heighten does not mean the heightness of something. Rather, it talks about increasing, like a feeling increasing, condition, situation. Drunk. You see it too, red in color. So someone who is drunk, like they have taken a lot of alcohol, they don't know what they are saying, their sense is not working properly now. Here, drunken, even though it has this en, it does not mean to be what? To become drunk. Rather, drunken too, when I say someone is drunken, I mean the person is drunk. So he is drunk, it's just saying he is drunken. It's very simple. That is why they are in this color, so that you see the difference between them and the ones above. Threat. This is a noun, like a warning. Don't do this. If you do this, I'm going to do this. The action you say, threaten. Threaten. That is, is this a threat? Are you threatening me? Strength. Talking about energy, power, right? So you to increase the strength of something, or something, the strength of something to increase. What do you say? You say strengthen. We should strengthen our relationship. Our relationship should strengthen, so it becomes, or you make it become. Length, how long something is. So you to increase the length, or for the length to increase, you say what? Lengthen. Lengthen. Thin, it is not thick. So for example, something is here, this one's Um, the verb you use thin, not thinning, for example. So if something is thin, it's not thick. So in the action, like something is thick, you want to decrease the thickness. What do? You thin. Like let's say tea, a cup of tea, 1 cup, and you put, let's say two, for example, 2 cans of milk. So the tea becomes thick. Say, wow, the tea is thick. I can't take it like this. Thin it. That just decrease the thickness. Wet. That is not dry. So the action, we say wet, not wetting. I can say wet something. That is what I mean by wet. You should make it wet. So it can be wet and it can be made wet. Wet it, or it is wet. Dry. Action 2, we say dry. So it is not wet here. So dry it, that is make it dry. Or it dries, that is it becomes dry. Warm, that is not hot and not cold. So if you want to increase the warmth of something, you still use warm. Warm it. And you can use what? Warms. That is it warms, meaning the warmth increases. So it becomes, or you make it become. Sour. That is like an orange is not ready it's not ripe. When you take it, you taste it. You taste, the taste is sour. You get it, I hope. So the action is what? Sour. For example, I can say the orange sours. Or let's say like milk. If you put your hands in the milk, you will sour it. That is, you'll make it sour. Or the milk will sour. That is, it will become sour. So sour as an adjective, or sour making it sour, or becoming sour. Very simple. Uh-oh, this might take us to around 45 minutes, but it's important. Let's just continue. No, don't worry, this is the last part. Blind, someone who can't see, right? They are blind. So you, to make someone blind, we say what? Blind. Don't blind. Be careful so that you do not blind people's children. That is, you do not make them blind. Rot. So rot, we are talking about damaging, decaying, and the action we use to rot. Say the food will rot, that is, it will become spoiled, damaged. Or do not rot the food, that is, do not make it become damaged. So the food can rot, or you can make it, or you can rot it, that is, make it rot. Milk. This one, what is a noun? Like the rot too is a noun. Milk, you know what it is, right? So you, like the action of drawing the milk, like from a cow, is also what? Milk. Who will milk for us? That is, who will draw the milk for us? For us. That is for us. Benefits. Well, that is the advantage, right? Of something, help. And you can say this thing does not benefit us. That is, doesn't give us any help. What is the benefit of this? That is here as in now. And the action, we can say what? This will not benefit us. Does it? No, it doesn't. Wow, they are getting, I think they are around 50 words. And wow, great. A very long topic. But what you need to do is to understand it better, you can watch 10 minutes later, 10 minutes, 10 minutes until you are done. It took me around, or it should be 40 minutes, I think. So it is worthwhile. That is, spending time on this is, you don't say you lose when you spend your 40 minutes on this. because you now know how to say red. To make it red, redden. This is black. To make it black, blacken or to black it. This is white. To make it white, you whiten it. Great, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. Thanks for now. Until next time.